Evaluation 1. The question was, in what way does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? My understanding of conventions come from watching previous trailers. I made sure that I researched into several genres before making my decision. I closely focused on comedy and horror. I finally chose that I wanted my theme to be horror. I then looked at several horror trailers so that I could see what type of music was being used in them, and so that I could see what type of clothing people wore depending on the scariness of the trailer. One convention that I thought I must concentrate on is the narrative. I wanted to make this an important element when creating my teaser trailer, as it is important to let your audience know what is actually going on. I decided to make the narrative clearer by choosing my mise en scène very carefully. I made the costumes that our actors and actresses wore portrayed their characters in the storyline. For example, Ryan Mills, the stalker and boy in my trailer, is wearing a dark coloured tracksuit. This is so that he would not stand out and the clothing would add an eerie effect to him. I made sure that the two girls in the trailer were wearing just everyday clothing. This is because they are just ordinary girls and that they will be getting stalked later on. Sophie wore jeans and a hoodie, and Ellie wore red jeans and a hoodie. I decided to set my teaser trailer and my poster in a wooded area. This is because usually when you think of woods at dark, they all seem scary and spooky. When I filmed it, we did want it to be dark. However, we made a vital error of leaving the filming too late in the evening, and it was then too dark. But if I was going to refilm the trailer, then I would have filmed it a lot earlier in the day. I could then have added darker effects to make it more dark and add to my horror theme. Before I started the construction of my teaser trailer and the making of my ancillary tasks, I looked up the conventions and the purpose of film trailers. This is one of my earliest blog posts and can be found on my blogger. Another convention was the choice of music being essential. I made sure that I researched into different musics. In the end, I found the piece of music that I wanted to use, and it was called the Halloween theme song. The music starts off, and as it is played, the music speeds up. I thought that this effect would get my audience heart beating as they watched the trailer. When creating my storyline, I did not use any other existing trailers to help me very much. I didn't use these as a guideline. Instead, with Nicole Miller, who I worked with throughout my whole coursework this year, we used our own ideas to create storyboards and thought of the shot angles ourselves. I think that if we was going to redo this, I may find a trailer that I particularly like and use this to help me to get more inspiration. This is because it may have helped me more and made it a little bit easier instead of thinking about everything from scratch. On my poster, right at the bottom, I've put white text which says, Beaverwood Pictures presents a film by me and Nicole. It then says the name of our film, which is Late That Night. We came up with this ourselves. We decided to call it Late That Night because it is filmed late that night, and it will make our audience think, what is going to happen late that night? Underneath that, it then says who produces, writes and it directs the film, which again is by myself and Nicole.